Hi everyone, so I've literally not that long ago did a craft haul for In Love Art Shop, and now I have a craft haul for Kokorosa Studio. So obviously all the packaging is always the same between the two because In Love Art Shop is part of Kokorosa, but they do have two separate websites and I have separate codes. Okay, so my Kokorosa Studio code is iced20 and that will get you 20% off. So I'm going to take you through now this latest batch, which is literally, as I speak, has literally just come through my door, my letterbox. Okay, so my whatever you call it, letterbox, postbox, door, whatever, you know what I mean. So yes, I'm going to take you through these, and then in between I'm going to show you what I've made with each of the dies. So we're going to start with this one, which cuts out of a card. So it doesn't actually cut a panel out. It just cuts out those little circles and does like a little dotted line. But I really like the idea of this because I think it's just really cute. So the width of this is 1 1/4 and the height is 5 pretty much. But obviously you could go across, so you don't have to be stuck to 1 1/4. You could do more than 1 1/4 if you wanted to. So yeah, so I'm going to show you now a card that I've made using this die. So this is the card I've made with that little die that cuts out of your panel. So I've actually cut panels out and then I've used the die on them. And I love the little stitch detail and the circles. And so I just literally cut out a few panels and just layered them up. And then I've just backed it onto a normal 5x7 card. I've made sure that the size of it is 5 high and then the width is no more than 7. And then I've put it onto a 5x7 card and I've just cut round it to make this kind of shaped card, making sure that the folded edge was at the top. So yes, I really like it. I like the way this has turned out. Relatively simple to make, not that much fuss. And then I've just put my own sentiment on the top. So that's that card. Okay, so here's another die, and I really like the look of this. I just thought it was really nice, really nice. So again, this will cut. The cutting edge is on the bottom, round the side, and along the top. But this edge here does not cut, so it will cut out of a panel. So you could have this as like doors. If you want a gatefold card, it could be like the doors of the gatefold. There's all sorts you could do with this. So again, this is very versatile, very interesting. You could have it that way around like that, or that way as a border, or a header. Yeah, really like the design on this. 2 3/4 wide, but obviously you can make it wider. And then the height is 5 1/2, so a decent size. Really good because you could use that on a 5x7. You could use that on a use it on a 6x6. Obviously on a 5x7 you'd have, if you want to do a 5x7 height wise, you'd have a bit more at the top, but you could work it. You could definitely work it. But yeah, so that's a really nice one. So I'm going to show you now a card that I've made using this die. So this is the card I made with that die. So I decided to make them as like I was going to do like a gatefold card, but I went with this one, like a W fold. So I've just literally, as you can see, it cuts out of the card. So it's really beautiful. It really cuts out well and it just looks amazing. This would also be nice for like a shaker. You could have shaker elements behind, or you could back vellum behind that, or there's lots you could do. You could also have it as like a top and a bottom instead. But yeah, so this is the one that I went through. This die was also from Kokorosa Studio, and then obviously got space on the back to write. So that is that one. This would obviously fold flat in your envelope. So that's that die. Now this doesn't look it looks interesting. It looks interesting in the packet. However, the photo that I saw online, they'd actually, where all these little dots are that actually emboss, you can actually put a needle and thread through those, and what they've done is they'd actually stitched and it looked amazing. So I'm planning to do something similar because I just really like the idea of that. And although it does take quite a bit of time to do, I think if you had some nice thread, which I have got some nice thread, and I haven't used it for I don't think I've ever used it. I just use it for like gift tags really, which is a bit of a waste. But for something like this, it would look really nice. So this is more of like a background die. Obviously it cuts this whole center section out, and it cuts the whole outer edge out as well. And it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So yeah, so I'm going to show you now a card that I've made using this die. So for this die, I went ahead and made this card. I did a shaker, and I've just used obviously the die, and I started to do some stitching. So if you can see here with the blue and the lilac, that is just using normal cotton thread. And then because I kind of ran out of time, I then switched over to gel pen. And so here on the green leaves and also on the red, that's all gel pen. So it just goes to show that even if you are not into stitching, you can still use this kind of stitching die to get a really good effect. I actually quite like how it looks like I've actually, if you just look at it flat like that, it looks like I've stitched it, but I haven't. And I also quite like the idea I've got partial stitching and partial pen. And then I've just used some circles that I got from Lucy Abrams' shop on top, and a little greeting on the top, and I just put it on. We'll just put it simply onto a normal 5x7 card. Now, I don't know about you, I have a teenage son. I'm sure you probably know some teenagers. I have people who've asked me for teenage things. This die would actually go really well with my Tech Time papers that I bought out recently. But I thought it'd be quite nice to have a PlayStation die. I do already have one, but this one is a bit more complete. It's got a bit more, you know, sort of extra pieces to it. This one measures 2 7/8 by about 2 inches. And obviously all these bits pop out, but you've got all the little buttons, you've got the little plus thing and everything. So yeah, so if you're not familiar with how this kind of controller looks, then I will show you in the next card how to put it, you know, what it looks like, how to put it together, and you can see the card I've made with it. And then with the PlayStation die, I did this. I've done this card already with for some other things. So you've got a little pocket there, and then you can see the PlayStation die. So I've just put it all together, and I've just, yeah, it's quite easy to assemble, to be honest. As long as you look at the diagram, you can assemble it pretty easily. But yeah, so that's the card that I've made using that die. I think this is going to be incredibly useful because I have quite a lot of people whose birthdays are coming up and they're teenagers, my son's friends. So this is going to be a very useful die. Next up, we've got this one, which is like a star border. So these are connected at the moment, but I'm obviously going to snap them out. So you've got 2 borders. And I just thought, stars are so versatile. I obviously recently got the star dies from In Love Art Shop. It was a set of 3, which I got. These, let me just get them for you. So these were In Love Art Shop dies. But again, you know, you can use them for Christmas, for birthdays. So now I've got a star border as well. And I just thought it's really useful, especially with Christmas coming. I mean, I say coming, it's June at the moment, the time of recording, but you know, we have to think about these things, don't we? So these measure, so the width of them is about 1 1/8, and it does actually, it's completely cuts. It doesn't cut out of a card, it actually cuts a strip. So that's 1 1/8. This one here is just under 1, maybe not quite 7/8. They're sort of like 15/16 kind of. And then width wise, the actual band there is 5 1/4-ish, but because you've got a star sticking out there, it's more like 5 1/2. And the same with this one is 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 tall. So that's that one. So I'll show you the card that I've made with this die. So this is the card I made using that die. So I've put them down the side. So you've got 2 little strips of stars, and I noticed as well one of the star strips, so this strip, the actual strip itself is not as thick as the strip on this one. So this one's a deeper strip, so that's good if you want to put, so if I was doing it this way around, I'd put that one at the bottom and that one at the top. So quite nice you've got the two differences, but just bear that in mind if you're piecing them together like I did here on this bit here. So you can see where the strip ends there, and then it comes down to like here. So you can see, so I've just pieced these two end bits on. But yeah, it's a lovely die. I really like it. I can see lots of use for this. And what I liked as well is it cuts all the middle of these are all stars. So then I've used the middles and just done it like a little accent on the sentiment itself. So yeah, so that's that die. Next up we have this one, which is actually upside down. Let me turn it around the right around. This beautiful butterfly background die. I just fell in love with this when I saw it. I mean, there's so much you can do with this. And also, let's just please, can we just notice the fact that when you cut this out, you are going to end up with a load of little butterflies. I mean, how cool is that? That is really cool. And they're really cute, and it's they would be, they're not so small that, you know, they're really piddly, like they're really decent size. So those are going to be about 5/8 wide by about 1/2 inch tall, which is decent. If you want like a little fluttery, you know, little cloud of butterflies, that is perfect. The actual die itself measures 3 7/8 by 5.5. But I really like that. And again, it's got this like stitched edge. So if you wanted to actually stitch that edge, you could. But yeah, I really did like this. I thought it was very nice. So I shall show you now the card that I've made using this die. This is the card I made using that die. So I've just used that whole panel in the front there. Just done it on white and then backed it onto this lovely striped paper. And then the butterflies that I cut out, I've then used on the sides just to add a little bit extra interest. And obviously this all folds down and you've got space on the back to write. And so that was the card I made with that one. So in the UK, we have Father's Day coming up on Sunday the 19th. I'm not sure if this video might be going out after that, I'm not sure. But anyway, I know different people have different Father's Day. I do have a set of tool dies, but when they came, they were actually tiny. Like this screwdriver would have been like that size. They were absolutely ridiculously small. So I wanted another set that were like a normal size, and this is what I wanted. I wanted a decent size. So this hammer is about 1 3/4 by about 1 inch. Same with, that's the same height. The width is about 7/8, about, yeah, they're all different obviously widths, but they're about 1 inch and 1 3/4 high. About 1 3/4 inch, 1 7/8 high. So they're a decent size. They're quite a nice size. So I just thought it was very useful for mail cards. I quite often get asked about making mail cards, but things like this really help because all you need is some mail coloured papers, a decent die, and you're good to go. To be honest with you, a fancy fold, you're good to go. So I'm going to look forward to using this. I'm going to show you now the card that I made using these dies. This is a card I made using the tools dies. Now I still need to put Happy Fathers down the front of this, but as you can see how well they cut out. So they're really very nice. I love the little pliers and stuff and the drill. So this is just a little kind of open swing card. But yeah, they cut out really nicely and they were good size. That's what I like about them, because I have got another set, but they're tiny. So it's nice to have a decent size toolkit. And obviously if you wanted to, you could cut out 2 of them and have the handle one colour, you know, overlay them and then have the top with some other colour. So that's another option. Or you could cut them out of white and just ink them up and colour them yourself. But yeah, they're very very nice dies. And then last but not least, we've got this cog die, which again for a mail card would be fantastic. And I like the fact because this looks like it's going to cut out of the card panel. So you're not going to end up with a circle. You're going to end up with, so say you've got your card, you know, your card panel, you're going to end up with all these being cut out of it. So this is the bit that's going to come out. And I like that. So for like a shadow box card or an aperture type card, this is perfect. It's a really nice size. So this measures almost 4 inches. So it's almost a 4-inch circle, which is good because that fits nicely on a 5x7 card, and it also will work nicely on a 6x6 card. So yeah, really like that, and I love the fact that you've got, you know, like a nice big cog, and then you've got some other little cogs, a clock and whatever. It's just quite a nice nice die. So yeah, so that's that one. So I'm going to show you now the card that I've made using this die. And this is the card that I made using the cog die. So I decided, so if you look down the side there, you can see how it cuts out of the panel. It doesn't actually cut a circle. But I decided to put it behind and have like an aperture in front. So there's the cogs. But it cuts out really nicely and it looks really good. If you have a quick peek through there, you can see how well it cuts out. So this was just a 6x6 canopy card that I've made. It's got space there to write. But again, really good for mail cards. Often it's quite, you know, easy to get stuck with mail cards. So this is a perfect solution for that. And it's a decent size as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please go and check out kokorosastudio.com. Don't forget to use my code ICED20, which you'll get 20% off. These are all the dies that are, I think they're new in for June, but they've got loads over there, loads and loads and loads, and they're always changing them. So, you know, if you go and have a look, say you went to have a look on there a month ago, I can guarantee you there'll be new dies on there. Every month they try and put new dies up. But they've got some really beautiful dies. These didn't take very long to get to me. I have to say, these probably took just under 2 weeks, I reckon, and they're coming from China, so that's pretty good going, because sometimes, you know, stuff from China can take quite a long time. But yeah, I would say just under 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. And I'm in the UK, so obviously it depends on where you are. But yeah, very good. I do like their dies. I never have problems with them cutting. Some intricate ones, I mean, you always have problems with intricate dies anyway, but yeah, I rarely have problems with cutting problems. So nothing a shim can't sort out. Anyway, let's put it that way. So but these are beautiful dies, and yeah, having lots of fun using them. So please go and check them out. Please also like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.